she loves him.
Well, see, that's another element of like, well, I can't fully buy him as a loser because she still loves him. That as much as he fucks up, she might fuss a little bit, but she still loves him. And I will say this: the kid, I don't know what his name is.
Well, I'll tell you his name.
The actor's name.
He's got a really weird name.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, his name is Dakota Goyo, which sounds like a fucking Japanese robot. And yes, he is very good in the movie. But the crazy thing is that he looks just like Jake Lloyd, that kid who was young Anakin Skywalker. So this boy is like a little Darth Vader that can act. Somewhere the real Jake Lloyd is looking at this kid like, fuck, man, come on.
As a teenager who had every reason to be a little shit, and he could be at times, and yet you completely understood where he was coming from. And, times he just wanted to be a nuisance because, why not? This, so that's supposed to be my dad. He completely abandoned me.
And he ends up becoming the core of the film for the audience this movie's intended for.
Jake Lloyd is at auditions where this kid should be. Kids coming in like, man, who the fuck are you?
I know Jake Lloyd's 30 years old. He's still
Don't worry. George Lucas would have fucked that up too.
So I'll let y'all get all that out because I'm going to lay some knowledge on you.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Let's hear it.
Professor Corey.
About to put some real steel on your ass right now. Let me tell you what's going on. First of all, to answer your question, Leon, a lot of addicts don't realize they have a problem. So that's already answered right there. That's why he didn't have those strong reactions you wanted to. He didn't know. You should really be more sympathetic about that. Okay, I thought you were a kind of person. But there's a lot going for this movie, and there's a lot going against it. I mean, I agree with that. I think the things that, for me, that were going for this movie, I enjoyed more. I like that they actually pulled back on the robots, all of them, especially the one Adam, the main robot in this, not having too much emotion, not being too cute with the kid, because, I mean, it's because he doesn't have that strong reaction that they kind of keep it from being too schmaltzy. And I think that if the robot had more emotion, him hanging out that boy, he would have turned the pedal bot or something after a while. That kid's up there mimicking and shit, and that robot just tries to cop a feel.
Yeah. Adam loved Max. No. Adam, what you doing? No.
Fuck off me, man. No, I'm not doing that movement. But no, from the story that they had, normally when they take like, these stories, I mean, like especially in science fiction, Philip K. Dick and Richard Matheson, they changed them around so much, and this is no exception. They changed it around a lot. In this short story, it was more of a futuristic setting, fucking flying cars probably and shit like that. But here, they chose to put this in. If you notice this in Texas, and one of the reasons why they started out at a state fair is because they want to pull these robots back in a more believable setting. And what's more of a downgraded setting than being in a rural setting like a state fair? And I thought in every scene that they had, I was like, this is great. These robots are actually meshing well with the real world, especially when you had like the camera constantly moving and the robots moving with those camera angles alongside human beings. And what really got me about these robots and them holding back on them having any kind of real emotions is that, okay, these are robots in a fight. It's like they don't feel any real pain. They're not getting angry in those fights. I was like, man, they are kind of brutal to me. Even with these robots not being able to feel a thing, those hits I was winching at sometimes.
I was wincing just thinking about how much money it would cost to repair that robot.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like,
the reaction shots are what sold those fights, actually, because after every robot got punched, you see a guy in the fucking corner go, no! Yeah!
That was the director. No, seriously, it was. And that scene with the illegal robot fights, which Cyrus brought up, he's like, wait, why are there illegal robot fights?
Yeah, why would there be illegal robot fights?
But that guy
one might got hurt, seriously. Come on.
Y'all, you didn't know? It was because they had to like register the robots. It was the Registry Robot Act of 2026.
Some shit you just pulling out of your ass.
That was in the movie, man.
Some registry shit I just made up.
It's in the movie. I just put it there.
All right. Because all I can think is like, man, if you spend, like, you say you spend as much money as you do on a car for one of these robots, because it would have to cost at least that much, and you throw it in there and it's getting the shit beat out of it, that's your car getting totaled.
And I give you that. It was kind of like looking at how he just his dude just went through robots like toilet paper. He wiped his ass with. He just wreck a robot and just go out and just get another one. Just like that.
I know. They might as well had him talking to like fucking Jawas at the fucking scrapyard.
If this was street racing, it'd be the equivalent of like Grand Theft Auto.
That- I was about
yanking
to say,
somebody out their car. And
that's
just
called
grabbing
Grand
another
Theft
car.
Auto.
They
Yeah.
really should have showed him show up at a Jawa sandcrawler at some point. Buy a new
He
one.
did. He did.
They should have shown Hugh Jackman like buying robots from Jawas.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. This one's got a broken motivator.
Hey, what are you trying to do here? You know, they dumb it down because it's a kid's movie. I thought that it actually could have been a really great science fiction story had it not been such a cute movie. And even within the realms of a children's film, they could have even made it stronger there had they made some of the characters just not so one-dimensional. I mean, the villains in this movie.
Oh my God.
They are so bad. Yeah, there's the people who are on the bad team. I'm looking at the name of these people. You got a Russian who's a chick. The actress' name is Olga Fonda, and this Asian guy, Japanese guy, Carl Yoon.
Who could not be more of a stereotype if you drew buck teeth?
Yeah, he might as well be in one of those like video fighting game movie
Exactly.
adaptations. He's Ryu or whatever.
Yeah, no, he's got the anime hair.
Yeah, he's got the '80s new wave dress up clothes.
Oh yeah, he's like any other Japanese person. He's two decades behind, you know, and wearing clothes. And then they come out and they ask him, they're like, "So, champ, what do you think about this new robot Adam that's coming up in the ranks?" And all he does is sneer, and he's like, "Oh, hustle, Gigantor is perfect.
All that dude-
Nobody can beat Gigantor." You know, it's like,
All that dude was missing was a sword, so somebody could be there to take a picture of the next Versus cover. I
And
mean,
the other villain, the guy who was like the guy we see in the beginning,
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, who's just so ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just
He's a
like, and
fucking
he's
cartoon. That's all he was.
They do this really silly thing in the film that's so manipulated just to give him comeuppance that feels like an afterthought.
that's what I'm talking about. To no effect. Kevin Durant, you've seen this guy, big, scary looking guy with a crazy looking face, but I love that guy.
Yeah, he's got a hair lip and super blue eyes
Yeah.
that are cat shaped.
Yeah, no, he's an intimidating looking guy, and I've seen him like expand his roles lately, and he's not used to be anything but a redneck in this movie. And then you have Anthony Mackie, who's in the movie for probably about he's
twice.
He's been there twice for about 5 minutes.
But he's not even like a bad guy. He's
No, he's not a bad guy. I'm just saying that they just don't use a guy, you know, that an actor that's up and coming that people are used to seeing do more and more. Just don't do anything with these people. Same with Hope Davis, you know.
Yeah.
I have to say though, this is directed by Sean Levy, who's done stuff like the Night at the Museum movies, Pink Panther.
Whoa, really?
Well, then this is a huge step.
Wow.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, his past career is far from impressive in the terms of critically, although his movies have certainly made some money, no
yeah.
question. But yeah, this is probably the best film I've seen by him.
Yeah,
It's the only film I've seen by him, honestly.
I mean, it's still-
I've never
which is-
seen any of those other
You've
films
been lucky,
ever.
my friend.
no,
Which isn't saying much, to be fair, but still.
and that's another thing I want to just say. I give you guys on seriously. They did try to oversell this as a kids movie sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, there were moments when like the stuff with the robot dancing.
Yes. That was one of those where I went like, all right, you guys.
It didn't bother me so much when they were going into a ring and entertaining people, but the movie stopped in the middle for the robot and the kid to do like a dance number.
Yeah.
At least he did have the robot do the robot. That was very
That is
important
true.
to me.
That was redundant. That was redundant. I was going to say that was fucked up. Really, I was like, come on, man. Even that robot is like, don't make me do
Hey,
this.
they were embarrassing even they were
Not the
embarrassing
Asian guy.
even me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they had the Asian guy do the Asian, pretty much. Yeah, have the robot do the robot.
You know, you have your black sidekick that do tap dance. It's like, come on, man.
if only they had the robot come out in blackface. That would have been different.
No, I like the movie, man. I really do. I mean, there are movies that I can say they are for kids, and I can like either write them off or I can relate to them. There's some movies that make me feel like I'm a kid. In this kind of movie, I'm like, man, I'm looking at these robots fight. Yes, I am 12 years old again. And some people say, motherfucker, you 12 years old right now? You dumb son of a bitch. But
Yeah, Gumby.
He's retarded as hell. You are a robot and 12 years old. But no, I felt like a kid watching this, and these robot scenes that they had in there they're the kicker of the movie for me. I thought that they were done exceptionally well, and if they weren't as well done as they were, it would be a lower film. It's Rocky with robots. Well, I'm not gonna give a shit.
Yeah, I like Rocky.
We know where it's going. We've seen this kind of children's movie before. These are elements that are not new to anyone. How does the movie make you feel when you're watching the most exciting parts of it? Is what counts to me. And I enjoyed it enough to give it a high matinee. I really enjoyed this a lot.
Damn, you really did.
Yeah, I did.
You loved it.
I didn't love it. I didn't say love it. I said enjoyed it a lot.
Headlines say Corey loves movie. Civilians everywhere cry foul.
I know. You see me under that, like the picture me under the headline, like, huh? I didn't say that.
Well, I got to say, I am now of two minds of this movie, and your love of it has brought out some things, some positive things about it I didn't see before. Like, for this director, this is a huge step up for him. And you know what? As these robots fights go, hey, you can actually see what was happening. Much better than the fights in Transformers. And, it is nice to have a movie for kids that a 10-year-old kid, he's not going to be familiar with all the movies, the 7 or 9, 8, 9, 10 movies this has ripped off so far. So that's like, you know what? These are all positive things. Maybe I'll reevaluate. But on my first head, I look at it and I go like, you know what? This is just kind of tired. To me, this thing is calculated like the circuit board of a computer to where, okay, we got this element, we got this element, this is going to happen here, this is going to happen here. And so much of it just feels kind of fake. I mean, even with the robots fighting, it's like, well, it's kind of cool, except they're robots, so they don't feel, and I don't care much.
Hey.
Oh, sorry. I mean, well, not you, co-host. You cool.
Goddamn
When
right.
have we ever seen evidence that co-host has feelings?
hey.
Yeah, he's actually quite unsympathetic.
Anger and hate, sure.
They work great for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
You know what? I just kind of come in as sort of a high rental.
Yeah, actually, almost everything you said is like you plucked the words right out of my brain. Really, there's a lot of stuff there that I really wish I could have liked more if it wasn't for the clumsy and predictable structure they built around it. And even so, there was stuff that just felt like they half-assed it. Like they were like, well, no one's even going to notice that. It's for kids, so we just won't even give a shit. We'll just do it anyway. That kind of stuff it's embarrassing to me to watch that sort of thing. I feel like it shows a lack of respect for your audience, even if they are kids. Certainly for the parents who have to bring the kids to see the movie. So yeah, no, it's a high rental of a film because there's enough fun stuff here that I'd say, by all means, it's something you should see at some point. Maybe a lazy Sunday afternoon at home.
Well, I don't think the kids that are going to see this who are, dragging along their mom or dad, I don't think they're looking for Scorsese or, I don't think I don't think they're looking for anything on that level. I think they just want to see something that is fun, something they can easily understand, and just something that doesn't end up being just a big car wreck like those Transformers films were. But I honestly had a good time watching it. I'm going to give it a matinee, but I do think I did think, as far as me being a robot and seeing robots, act in that world, is like, it's one of those robots needed to fucking come alive because they try to sell you on that. And if they just gave that to you, I think that movie would have triumphed even more. And if the director's listening, hey, I'm available. So if you do a sequel, I will bring all the charm and everything that you really wanted for that fucking robot, Adam, in this movie. I will fucking be rolling around. I'll roll like a bowling ball. I sting like a flea. And man, we will have a winner on our hands. All right.
I picture you more as a sort of floating, wisecracking sidekick.
I know,
robot.
right?
And don't worry about it, Coles. When robot fighting becomes real, I'm putting a boxing glove on your head, putting you right in the middle of the ring.
Coles, get back in there! You can do it, Coles! Coles has had to get the toaster!
And I know I've done all kinds of wrong by this kid. Just like to do one thing right.
Right uppercut!
Great fight, fellas.
Remember this name, Adam. This spot is one to watch.
I'm trying to see a better side to you here, Charlie.
It's not easy.
Max! This is what it's all about!
We can't win, can we?
We'll see.